Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Commander's Pod. I'm your pod father, Duncan.
I'm Sloan.
And I'm Jeff.
Thank you for joining us today. Today we're going to talk about the Final Fantasy set. We're going to give you some previews of some of the cards we like. We're going to try not to do the ones that are the flashy, big ones, because you probably heard all about those, but some of the lesser known ones that we tend to like. We're going to have Aggro Jeff make an appearance. We have a That Doesn't Do What You Think It Does. And we got some pro tips this week, Sloan?
Not this week, because I figured the Final Fantasy thing, we're going to eat up a lot of time today.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty exciting. We might even roll this into 2 weeks. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff they're doing with this set, and there's a lot to cover.
Yep.
So
it's a cool set. But so let's start off. Let's talk to Aggro Jeff. Aggro Jeff, what's aggravating you this week?
Well, I think a lot of people out there, as guys or even ladies, there are things that we just love a lot. And like, you think that I might then be talking about, our wives or husbands or children or whatever it might be, but actually I'm going to talk about something that maybe is as loved as those things, but we don't normally say it out loud, and that's bacon. Bacon is a thing we love in America. Bacon is amazing. But what I've come to find out is that the fatty bacon that I love is maybe not the best for me. So I thought, okay, well, Doc will be happy if I'm like, okay, well, let me do turkey bacon, right? Because that's a leaner meat. That'll be healthy. And so I was like, turkey bacon will be great. Well, I kind of got used to the taste, and I was like, okay, I could do this. I could do turkey bacon. I was like on board for making good decisions. And then I come to find out it's processed. It's not good for you.
Imagine that. Making turkey tastes like bacon is a processed food.
I mean, don't go out and point out normal things that I should have figured out on my own. That's not helpful for this. I'm already aggravated enough, but I feel like everybody else out there needs to know this is like, I feel like this is one of those food and drug. I feel like this is a G.I. Joe. At the end of G.I. Joe, when they said, don't eat a Snickers bar, have an apple, Remember that? And
no, I'm not as old as you.
I mean, I don't remember them calling out a specific candy bar.
No, but they said don't eat candy bars, eat an apple, and then did the G.I. Joe thing. So right now it's our version of the G.I. Joe, which is don't eat turkey bacon. Just eat regular bacon and let your doctor be mad at you.
Yeah, but get the thick sliced if you're gonna do it.
Yeah,
do it right.
And candied bacon's amazing too. Again, just let your doctor be mad at you.
Oh yeah, candied bacon. Oh.
By the way, this is not medical advice. I'm not a doctor, and no one should actually listen to me. But still, go eat some candied bacon. It's delicious.
Sloan makes some very good candied bacon with that recipe from
that was
the D&D cookbook.
The Heroes Feast D&D cookbook. It's called Heroes Feast. It's called Orc Jerky. Yep. It's delicious.
And the people that ruined turkey bacon or made me think it was a good, except they're jerks. They should eat jerky.
I mean, I think we should take it for a win. It's not cheese. It's still food related.
I mean, I don't want to set up another Aggro Jeff for next week, but just so you know, soda is highly processed as well.
I've stopped drinking soda.
What do you put in your slushy makers?
Well, we're not really drinking those right now. So we had some for Memorial Day, but I mixed in a lot.
That was yesterday.
Yeah, but I didn't drink very much, and the ones that I was very watery. So I'm pretty much not drinking soda. I'm drinking tea.
Oh, look at that.
I'm not even doing coffee. I'm doing tea. Look at me be healthy.
Look at you.
I don't know if the tea I'm drinking is healthy, but I think
probably not.
It's sugar-free. It's not. I mean, not sugar-free. It has no sugar and no fake sugar either. It's just regular tea. It's terrible.
Yeah. No, regular. You're not going to do honey or anything?
I'm aggravated about that, too. No. And honey's not real either. Freaking a lot of the honey's fake. Again, tricked by everybody here.
I feel like
fake honey?
We're going to be stuck in this Aggro Jeff forever. I think we just need to move on.
As I'm continuing to try to eat things that are healthy and find out they're not healthy.
Right.
It's very frustrating.
Yeah, that's...
Yes.
Okay. Well, we're going to have That Doesn't Do What You Think It Does. And so I'm going to use a card as an example, but this isn't about the card. It's about the process.
Also, hold on.
Okay.
What is wrong with you? Like, on here it says TDDWYTID. You can't just spell it out and then copy and paste it. You got to make up this ridiculous
acronym. I can, but
it takes up a lot more on the sheet, though, if he does it that way.
Yeah. That doesn't do what you think it does.
It would be like this long.
Yep.
And then the segment is less words than what the actual...
I mean, since you're doing it, you could just put whatever you want there. Like,
which I did.
That doesn't do.
Which
he did.
Yeah,
and then
ridiculous.
you complained about
That's also aggravating.
So there's a preview of next week's Aggro Jeff.
Yeah.
I feel like after every segment today, Jeff's gonna have an Aggro Jeff.
That might be the plan.
It just,
But I think
everything
he's
we
just
do.
cranky because he's eating healthy.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Maybe.
I'm still eating bacon. Sorry, Doc.
Yeah. Plus he goes to Five Guys like every other day.
Oh, it just opened? I've been there 7 times. In like 10 days or something.
Well, and that's not counting the times when you went to Orlando and went to the one there.
Oh, that's true. So it's more like, well, but that goes past 10 days, I think. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not going to do the math on it.
All right. Don't do math.
The math is for blockers. There
So-
are no blockers in that.
So-
Your arteries are the
Anyway,
block.
let's try and right this train. So that doesn't do what you think it does. So I'm going to use this card as an example, but it's about the process, and I'll explain. So the card is Transcendent Dragon,
Yeah.
and Transcendent Dragon is 6 and 2 blue. Is that right?
I don't know.
Zoom in here.
I don't know. You're messing up your phone. I can't help you.
Oh yeah. I can't see it well because of the little icons they have. But anyway, 4 and 2 blue. There we go. Made them go away. It's a creature dragon 4/3. It's blue, obviously, and it says flash, flying. When this creature enters, if you cast it, counter target spell. If that spell is countered this way, exile it instead of putting it in its owner's graveyard. Then you may cast it without paying its mana cost. So, in reference to when somebody casts their commander.
Mm-hmm.
In response, somebody casts a spell. Now, some people think, oh, okay, you exiled my commander, I'm going to choose to put him in the command zone, therefore you don't get him.
Right, it goes to exile and then you choose to put it in command zone. Why doesn't that work?
Because you do not get to check board state actions until the ability has fully resolved. And the
Right.
full ability says they get to cast it without paying its mana cost.
Because you get to do it right then.
Right
So
then. it is
because
not-
the big thing with Magic, and they're pretty good about this, if the ability is a one giant paragraph, that entire ability is the ability. So that whole thing has to resolve
before
before
anything else happens.
right. So if it said counter target spell, if it's countered this way, exile it, and then starts a new whole paragraph, and then that paragraph says for the remainder of this turn you may cast that card without paying its mana cost, then you could send it back to the command zone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's starting a whole new ability. But because it's all inclusive in that one ability, there is no point in which you get to check your board state action because the ability has yet to resolve.
If the dragon deck player has 6 mana opened, be careful what you cast. Because this is probably happening.
Well, I mean, even if the mono blue player has, it probably won't cost him 6 though. He'll get it out for a lot less. But yeah, I mean that's a card
I'm
that.
less concerned if the mono blue player does it though, because it could have probably done it.
I
for
mean, the
0.
real trick here is to play like abilities like Monster Manual that let you just put it in.
Although if 6 mana and you're getting a very powerful creature, then that's a free counterspell really.
Yeah, because imagine if he did it to someone's Tiamat or Ur-Dragon.
Yeah, no, that'd be crazy.
Oh, I'm sorry. It says if you cast it. So no, the cheating it in doesn't work. But,
But once you do that, if they do have interaction, you paid 6 mana for 1 counterspell.
And I will say this too. It's probably only a matter of time before they make a spell similar to this, but that does have 2 paragraphs that say you may cast it from your opponent's command zone. It's coming. You wait.
Probably. I mean, with all the ridiculous stuff they just made in Final Fantasy VII, like who knows what?
Because that's even more delicious because that counts for commander tax.
Yeah.
So anyway, so yes, if an ability does not have a pause or a break,
Right.
that ability must resolve fully before anything else can happen.
So can you
Correct.
just ask to read the card and be like, when this creature enters, if you cast it, counter target spell. If that spell is countered this way, exile it instead of putting it into its owner's graveyard.
Then you may cast it without paying its mana cost.
Then you may cast it without paying
No,
its
there's
mana
no,
cost. Pause. I paused.
Sure.
Would that work?
No,
No.
because you're absolutely wrong. You don't know how to read.
yeah.
That makes you illiterate.
I can take a pause for as long as I want before I complete the sentence.
That's not true.
Why is that not true?
Because a comma indicates a pause.
Yeah.
Not
Well-
just you stopping because you suddenly have a stroke.
That's true, but I just stopped.
Okay. Well.
Oh, there is a comma.
Sure.
There's a comma right there, so I could pause there.
All right.
You can,
Anyway,
You can do a
so
momentary pause.
there are other
Correct.
things that do this. There are other things that this will apply to, but
Right.
this was one that somebody asked me because they saw a video about it, and they're like, "Is that true?" Yes, this is true.
Yeah.
That's how that works. So, Let's move on to our Final Fantasy preview. Now, there's a lot to talk about with this set.
Yeah, and if you like Final Fantasy, good grief, there's some cool stuff in here.
If you like Magic, there's some cool stuff.
Yeah,
there is too. But especially, if you're a Final Fantasy fan, you got to be just over the moon.
I mean, I would call this set maybe a little pushed. I think that's fair. I think there's a lot of things in this that are pushing the boundaries.
Well, and
of
it's
what
not
they've
even
done.
at the top level. It's not like sometimes it's like 2 or 3 cards are really pushed or 1 is really pushed. Like there's really good cards in some weird situations, which we're going to talk about.
There is, in my opinion, earlier in the year we were giving Wizards of the Coast credit for doing a good job of kind of pulling back on the constant power creep that we felt like that was happening in the past.
Yeah.
These Tarkir in this set, yeah, it's like they completely disregarded that, I feel like.
Yeah, Tarkir, I don't think.
Tarkir
was very like, niche. If you're not playing dragons.
True, but
and dragons
with
don't
that
really
being
need
said,
help.
there was still a lot of cards in that set that even if you aren't playing dragons, like for example, every card that has Omen in it was kind of ridiculous. The fact that you just get to put it right back into your library after you cast it is kind of silly. And they did it with a board wipe, where it's just like, yeah, just keep passing this board wipe over and over again the rest of this game, unless someone counters it and gets it in the graveyard. But like there was certain things that they did in Tarkir. I'm not saying it was like crazy overpowered, but they definitely pushed the power creep a little bit with Tarkir. And I feel like with this set, they're pushing it again. Because there are so many cards in this set that everyone is talking about how they're so excited because there's 1,000,001 ways to break them.
And it's just like everything else. We got to see how it plays out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there could be cards that are even more powerful than we thought, and some of these cards that we think are really powerful, sometimes they just end up not doing what we thought they were going to do. Like, what's the one where you play it and you could tap it to create the amount of treasures for the lands you have, but basically you couldn't use them that
Bootlegger
turn?
Stash?
Yeah. Like, I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be insane, and then it just never really did anything.
I mean, the difference with that one and some of the cards that are being displayed in this one is like that one, first off, it was green, right? I think it was like a green enchantment or something like that. And lands you control have tap, create a treasure token, right?
Yes. Yeah, I think it is.
It was a sorcery. You couldn't keep doing it.
Oh, it was a sorcery.
It was a sorcery.
Yeah.
But whatever it was, we thought it was going to be powerful, and it ended up not being powerful, so...
Yeah, but the difference is the abilities that are on these cards. Everyone's like, yeah, this is bad.
Well, many people said it wasn't going to be powerful because it costs 6. It's actually it's an artifact.
That's what I thought. It's an artifact.
So you're right.
Yeah.
And they don't come in
enchantment.
tapped. You can use them right away.
I thought it was an artifact or enchantment.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have to tap your lands to get them, so it's not like you're getting ahead. Except for next turn, you're getting ahead.
Unless you have Seaborn Muse.
But let's talk about some of the things
they're
they're doing just broadly in the set that we haven't seen before. So they have lands with adventure.
Yeah, so some of the things that I kind of, when we were talking about for our pre-show prep, we were talking about what we wanted to go over. We're going to call out cards like Duncan said, but one of the other things was we kind of brought up what are all the things that they're doing. So adventure lands is one thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's broken because at least the other one you had to cast both things. You had to use mana for one, and sometimes you didn't have the mana.
Yeah.
But you can play the land right away.
Right from exile.
It's like lands are the bacon, and then the other part is like the candied part. It makes the bacon better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's a good analogy.
So we have
like
adventure.
Bacon.
Jeez Louise.
Really?
I feel like this is gonna be like the cheese thing all over again. He's just gonna
bacon.
pair everything to cheese the rest of the show. It's gonna be bacon though. So yeah, we have adventures on lands, which is from my recollection, the first time I've ever done it.
Yep.
Then another thing that they're doing for the first time ever is that we have a creature that will create an emblem.
So there is kind of creatures that create emblems, but it's not the creature, it's the ability.
That is true, actually.
The ring tempts you is an emblem. So anything where the ring tempts you is an emblem.
Right, but
that's kind of cheating. It's not
that's not like
emblem.
that's not a real emblem. Like in the fact of when we hear emblem, we think of planeswalkers ulting.
What
right?
about the one where the creatures die, and every time a creature dies, you get the dang it, who is that? I feel like she's black and green, and then you can't interact with them, and then they help you cast other.
I mean, there's experience
counters.
You're
talking about
Experience
Marin experience
Yeah.
counters. Again, that's not an emblem though.
Yeah,
That's
those
an
are
emblem,
experience counters.
Those have been
that's a
around
counter.
forever.
Yeah.
But
so directly having an emblem from a creature, this is the first time.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the first time we have that.
Like I said, the ring temp's use kind of cheating.
Yeah, and again, the ring, like the emblem, because the ring tempting you is it quote unquote emblem, but it's not an emblem in the traditional sense that we
And I
think
guess
of.
you could also say ascend, where the
Right.
the city's blessing is an emblem.
Right, but again, it's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a creature literally producing and generating an emblem for you is something that we're having happen in this set. Another thing that we're having happen in this set is we have creatures that are sagas, which previously sagas were just enchantments. They had
Right.
their 3 ticks or 4
Or they had the
5.
creature on the other side.
Or the creature was on the other side, so an exile
Which
came back
this,
as the
this
creature.
makes a saga deck actually kind of playable.
Right, your Tom Bombadil is about to become a bomb.
Well, I don't know. I was gonna say it's a bomb. It's more like.
Well, I mean, because he's 5 colored, he gets to play any of
more
these.
powerful stick of dynamite. It's still hard to play saga.
But
It's not easy to
when
win.
now they can also attack for you, it makes it a lot easier and defend
Well, and
for you.
defend for you, which
Yeah.
is huge. Yeah,
Right,
because
and
one of the things is you have 7 sagas out, and no way to defend yourself.
Yeah, you're just getting hit. It's just like,
I mean,
okay.
Tom Bombadil a lot of times is indestructible, so one thing, but that's about it.
Yeah. So that was another first thing that they had was we have sagas that are creatures. Yeah, I mean, we just have a lot of firsts. We have a card they came out with where you can have 10,000 power. Like that's a first. That's a first. We have a card where you could also have negative 10,000 toughness.
And what's wrong with those things? Those things are great.
Yeah, I mean,
Why not?
when you can break them,
Yeah.
you know why they're not great. But there's
Cactuar can go in your Calamax deck, by the way.
Yes, I know he can. I'm very aware of that.
Okay.
Trust me, very aware of it.
Because now you can say things like, I do 60,000 damage to you 3 each.
Yeah. Please stop me, I dare you. So there's a lot of things that we're seeing.
You play that dragon and just take it. It's like, okay, I'll stop you.
I mean, good luck trying to do that. I got enough counters to choke out Duncan in that deck. But
Well,
there's
you guys are going to be a lot of fun to play with now.
Yeah, there's just a lot of firsts that happen in this set that is very interesting, and I don't know if a lot of it has to do with the fact that Final Fantasy is a very nostalgic universe to be going into, so maybe they kind of saved up some of these bangers for this set.
Is already, from the pre-orders, bigger than Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Which was their biggest set ever.
And
Right.
they had to, because they probably paid a decent amount for the IP. Probably not as much as Lord of the Rings.
Now, I have not scoured every single card. I never do because I like some excitement. Right?
Yeah.
I want some cards I don't know what they are.
Mm-hmm.
So I tend to just look for certain things to talk about, certain things to get excited about, and I leave the rest kind of like I'm not really going to look.
Right.
So I don't know for sure, but my feeling though is, unlike Lord of the Rings was a set that I keep saying, if that was the only set you ever played, you could play complete decks. It had everything you needed.
Yeah, it was really well rounded.
I don't know if this one is as well rounded. I don't know if this one is as standalone-ish.
No, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be, but I'm just saying I feel like though that this one is more pushed than Lord of the Rings was. Yes, the One Ring was super powerful.
Right.
And yes, there were commons from that are very strong right now, like Mirkwood Bats.
I wonder if it has to do with like demographic. Like if you were the right age, this like Final Fantasy was like a big deal for me. I don't know. Am I too old? I don't remember playing Final Fantasy.
No, I'm older than you. I played Final Fantasy.
So maybe it's just because it was it Sony?
Yeah.
Yeah, so and I was always Xbox, Microsoft. So maybe that's why. I just never
Well,
really
Sony and
had a
Nintendo.
console.
It was Nintendo first.
Right. Yeah, it was Sony. But I mean, the other thing is too, that I think is a little bit different with this compared to Lord of the Rings is they are still making games for Final Fantasy,
That
and
are new?
that are brand new. Final Fantasy Online, I think they just did an update for it literally like I think last month.
I was always excited. I remember always being excited about it. Like I'd really like to play that game and just never got around to doing it.
Right. Yeah, and it's a very old game in the sense that where it started and the fact that it's still going. It's a very long running game.
Loved.
Yeah, and people really do love it. I mean, Cloud is probably one of the most iconic video game characters of all time. Period. And
Mario might have something to say about that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. One of Mario's up there. You have your Sonic the Hedgehog's up there. You have and Cloud's that for Final Fantasy. Like if you say Final Fantasy, everyone knows who Cloud is pretty much. There's no doubt in anyone's mind. So I do think that a lot of the desire for this set and the push for it is because there is a very wide range of people who know know what Final Fantasy is. Even my buddy Taylor, who bought some of this set, he said that he would probably play Commander just because he has Cloud
Well,
now.
that's the hope too. The hope is that it can draw more players into the game.
Right.
That's really good for the game.
And
Right.
it does look like it's doing that.
Exactly. I think it is for sure. So,
But yeah, this set is wild.
Yeah.
The prices are wild.
yeah, I mean,
The markup after the prices is wild.
yeah.
Like,
Let's talk about real quick. Amazon. No, I just saw $1,000 for a collector boosters box. One collector boosters box
but that
for
could be
Final
a
Fantasy.
third party seller.
And it could be,
I
but
think it is.
it's ridiculous that
But
people are doing
even
this.
before that, I think they were selling them for $600.
So it started off at the right price. They started off at $250 to $300 a while ago, though. Like a while ago, they started off at that price. Then they jumped up to $600. Then they jumped up to $800, and the most recent pricing is $1,000.
So
$999
the
and $99.
$300 was before
It was a long time ago.
anybody knew what they were going to
Right,
cost.
exactly.
Just buy
And those
singles.
ones are actually bold.
The singles are bad too.
Okay,
Yeah.
but hold on.
I saw that.
Those collector boosters that people got, I don't know if they canceled those pre-orders and made them redo it because that is below cost.
I don't know. I don't know what to
You'd
tell
be
you.
Misremembering too.
Because they started off at the right price.
Mystic Forge, my shop I play at, my shop, it's mine.
Yes,
That's
your
I
shop.
don't own it, but it's mine.
This is
Um,
aggravating.
They are fair with their prices. They don't jack them up.
Right.
And it was $450, I believe, for the collector booster.
Right.
And there's a site I use, which I won't use their name because I'm a little bit mad at them. They waited a little while before they did their pre-orders compared to Amazon, but they're a big online retailer. And they usually have very fair prices, even weeks and months after.
Right.
When other people have jacked their prices, if they still have them, they'll be at the normal price. And they jacked their prices up. It was $600 for a collector booster from them.
Wow.
Now their play booster boxes were not jacked up; they were normal.
Yeah.
I
But-
don't think you're going to get to $600 value here. Now, there's two ways you can determine value, because value could be how much would someone be willing to pay for that. In that fashion, you might get $600 and like what you technically could resell it for. But remember, unless you have an active TCG shop, you're not getting 100% of what TCG says the card's worth.
Right.
And even if you did somehow do that, you're paying TCG player to sell it on their thing. And what I mean by value is like just because a card says it's $40 doesn't mean it's worth $40. Like we know what $40 cards do. Some of these cards are going to be worth more because they have Final Fantasy on them and because people love Final Fantasy.
So here's the thing. Number one, in the negative value factor, there's only how many serialized cards?
77 golden chocobos.
Yep. That's it. Normally they do 500, so
You're
far
not
less
getting
serialized
one of those.
cards.
Yeah.
I mean, only 77 people in
77
the
people.
world.
Yeah, which
Are
means
gonna-
that card's going to be very valuable.
Please
If
don't
you get
chase
that, that's the golden ticket. Don't tell anybody. Send it in to get it graded. Do not play that card. That's going to be one of the most
probably
valuable cards
drive it
in
in to
Magic.
get graded. Like
Yeah. But so that's a negative in their favor. The positive in their favor is people are going to go after the full art,
Right.
the big
full art
art
versions.
versions, the specialized foils.
Yeah.
the collectors, yeah.
Because
those are going to be more than a normal set because of the subject matter.
and they did a lot from at least what I'm seeing, they did a lot of collector booster only versions of cards this
Yeah.
time around. Like a lot.
Yeah.
And a lot of those are the full art foiled ones that, of course, are the ones everyone wants. And to give you an idea, I was talking to one of the guys here at work. He was a huge Final Fantasy VII fan, but doesn't play Magic. And he's like, hey, where do I go to look at the cards so I can see which ones are coming out? Because I might want to buy some of them just to display. And I told him the site, and he went and he looked it up. He's like, oh, I really want this guy. How much do I know he's worth? I was like, well, he's not out yet, but if you go to TCG Player, that will give you a good idea of how much it will probably be worth approximately
How
when it
much
does
was
come
it?
out. The one that he wanted was $78
Oh,
2
that's
weeks
not too bad.
ago.
That's not too bad.
But that was 2 weeks ago.
What's it now?
I haven't checked. I don't even want to look.
Well, and so
I don't want to hurt. I don't want
we-
to break his little heart.
We also know that sometimes, most of the time, cards go down in value after the release.
Correct.
Like they're inflated before.
Definitely.
Some cards go up, but the majority go down. I don't know how many of these are going to go down.
I don't know if a
We
lot
really
of them are
won't
going to go down.
know until we see how many
Well,
of
like
them.
this saga that we're going to talk about when we talk about cards, I think it's $40 right now. I can't imagine it stays at $40.
Well, but the
the
difference
thing costs 9 mana.
But the difference between that and the cards that we're talking about that I think are going to hold their value is they are main characters from the show, the game, the series, rather. And they have full art foil versions of them that you can only get in collector's boxes, and they're mythics.
Those might go up. Those might not go down.
Like that's my point. Like those are the cards everyone wants. Everyone wants that full foiled version Cloud. Everyone wants the full foiled version Vincent and the Sephiroth and those are the cards right now that are already climbing.
But to Duncan's point, the other cards, the special version of those, I think you were saying you don't even know if those will go down.
Yeah, it's possible they don't.
I'm a little more. Trends tend to be very hard to break. I think they're still going to go down. There will be some that do go up. Yeah. But the prices of these cards are ridiculous. So.
I mean, so the regular Cactuar is not anywhere near as strong as the giant Cactuar that gets the plus 9999, right?
At the beginning of combat,
But because people love Cactuars, that card may jump in value when it comes out.
Yeah.
Because people may buy them up that have no interest in playing Magic, but they're like, I want 20 of those for my collection.
What is for sure is I wonder how hard it'll be to find these in for the people that are used to going to Walmart, Target, those type of places to buy their cards.
Oh, they are going to be wiped out.
I think it'll be very hard to find.
In fact, this might be the straw that breaks the camel's back and makes those retailers say, you know what, I'm tired of the shenanigans. It's not coming here anymore.
Oh, yeah, because retail giants will get rid of stuff that goes off the shelf fast.
No, but the problem is they've been having problems with Pokemon right now. There's guys following around because it's a third-party distributor that brings them it.
Right.
And there's guys that follow them around and just wipe the shelf as soon as it gets there.
Why does Walmart care about that?
Because then people have gotten in fist fights and like there's been bomb threats to try and stop them. Like it's crazy the stuff that has gone on because of that.
No, I will say this too. This weekend we had a long weekend from work, and so I went out of town with my wife, and we did swing by a Target and Walmart. I was just curious if they had up any Final Fantasy VII stuff yet, because with previous sets they have put stuff out a week or two early. So I went, as of at least a couple of stores I went to, there wasn't any up yet. So I don't know.
It's the earliest you'll see them is a couple days.
No, I saw Assassin's Creed a week and a half before it was released.
Really?
Yeah.
Like before, but you're saying pre-release week.
It was 4 days before the pre-release weekend. And and it was so that was a week and a half before regular release.
One-off mistakes do happen at any rate.
You might see them the week of pre-release. You won't see them before that, I don't think.
But even that, though, is ridiculous. They shouldn't be up yet.
Yeah, but there was definitely not the hype. You can still buy Assassin's Creed.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I think in 2 months' time, you will not be able to find a single pack of Final Fantasy.
Probably not.
I'm pretty sure.
We'll find out, but.
Last thing to talk about before we get into the specific cards, there is the Secret Lair drop of the Final Fantasy Secret Lair on the 9th.
Yeah. Okay.
It's going to be another one. I'm just calling it now. If you want it, you better be on there exactly at noon Eastern time.
Yeah, when does that start, by the way?
Cyclonic Rift
at noon Eastern time on the 9th.
On the 9th.
Okay.
And Consecrated Sphinx, Cyclonic Rift, those are in the sets too. And then that Frank, what'd you say his name was?
Frazetta.
Where it's like the Conan Barbarian art. That looked awesome. So there's some really good stuff on the Secret Lair this time.
It's going to be a big day. That's one where you're going to need probably a couple hours to check out.
Yeah.
It hasn't been the case recently, but I think that's going to be one.
Yeah.
And if you're not on there right at noon, you will probably not get the one you wanted.
But that Commander deck that they released,
everyone's invited.
Yeah, it's still on there. It still hasn't sold out.
Right. Yeah. No, I was shocked.
Wild.
I think they overestimated how much people want that deck. You know what I mean? The cats and dog one, what is it? The cats one that's coming out, right?
Yeah.
Cats one. Mm-hmm. I think that one will be more popular than the everything.
It probably
We're
will.
getting off track though.
Yeah.
But just know that on the 9th there is Secret Lair, Final Fantasy, and other Secret Lairs coming out, and I think the Final Fantasy ones are going to be flying off the site. So be aware. So I already talked about Adventurelands. I'm not going to get into details because it's not the specific cards of them I care about. It's just cool. You get extra value out of your land.
I think didn't they make 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, they made
one for each color.
Yeah, one for each color.
A cycle, as it were.
They do come in tapped, so that's the drawback.
Right, but the plus side to it is you get to cast a spell out of it and then
immediately put it in as
mana.
Yeah. So, that's cool. So the first card I am going to talk about though is, and again, the ones I'm going to talk about, they're mostly uncommons. There's one rare I think I'm going to talk about, but it's just cool new things. So the first one's the Gold Saucer. It's a land town. Okay, so the town is the type of land, subtype. Tap for a colorless, or pay 2, tap it, flip a coin. If you win the flip, create a treasure token.
Yep.
And then 3, tap it, sacrifice 2 artifacts to draw a card. That's just really good. If you have the mana and you don't know what else to do with it, try and get some treasures. You know what I mean? That's ramp.
Yeah.
You throw a Krark's Thumb in there, and if you put this in a flip deck that already has Krark's Thumb,
Yeah.
oh my word, so
Yeah.
good. And then the being able to draw cards if you really need it. You probably aren't going to get rid of your treasures, but maybe if you're playing an artifact token deck, maybe you have clues or foods.
Yeah.
That's just a really good ability. So I just like that one. I think it's going to have good value for a lot of people. It's a good utility land, I think.
I think specifically too because it taps for colorless, right? So
Yeah.
it can go in any deck, and all of the abilities are just pay colorless and then tap it. So
Generic.
generic. Yeah,
They're not
generic.
even
Sorry.
colors.
Which is really good. So that means it can be slotted in a lot more decks, which is important. So it does have I think a higher ceiling in regards to versatility.
It's an uncommon.
Yep.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yep. It's an uncommon.
Um,
So normally I go to you. Let's do Jeff first, and then we'll come back to you, and then go to me. I just feel like switching it up a little bit.
This one
killing
seems
me,
pretty
Smalls.
cool. This one's tough though. It's a $40 card. It's Summon Bahamut. 9 mana. This is a saga that comes in as a creature. It's a flying 9/9, and here's its saga abilities. 1 and 2 are destroy up to 1 target non-land permanent. That's pretty good on a saga. Turn 1 and turn 2, you're destroying target non-land permanent. And then 3 is draw 2 cards, which that's pretty good too. And then 5 is Mega Flare, which I don't know why they insist on using the word mega for stuff, but okay. Mega Flare. This creature deals damage equal to the total mana value of other permanents you control to each opponent. The mana value of other permanents? That is straight
And you
just
already
kill
paid 9
everybody.
for that. You
What?
probably have other big stuff. If you paid 9 for that,
Yeah.
you probably have other big mana value permanents out
Yeah, but if you get to the final chapter of this, because it's 5, it's not 3.
No, it's
4. 4. It's hard to get to. They have 4 turns to just kill it. Now, there's
Well,
ways you can move through them
proliferate.
quicker, but still.
So let me school you a little bit on Final Fantasy. So first of all, this is the one you were saying you didn't think would be as valuable because it's just a saga. Bahamut is one of the Eidolons. That's not what they called them, but the summons that was in every game.
Okay.
It's the
yeah, that's
big
why it's
creature.
called Summon Bahamut.
Yeah, it was the big creature that you would call down that would wipe out your enemy.
Oh, okay.
And it was in every game. Unlike any of the other characters.
So you think
these
some of the
summons-
value here might be on the character itself?
Yeah, because none of the other characters are in there except for the summons in every game.
Okay.
And then the Mega Flare is one of Bahamut's abilities. That's why it's called that.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
That's right.
Yeah.
You got to remember, this was prime anime type,
That is
story.
true too. Yeah.
It was based. They created it with the idea of like an anime.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
that's a cool one though. What you got, Sloan?
I got Go-Go Master of Mimicry.
Broken.
Dude, 2 and a blue.
So cheap.
He's a legendary creature wizard, 2/4. And I feel like Duncan's gonna just start shoving this in every blue deck
Oh
he's
yeah.
got
Except
he's
that's
so.
gonna be way too expensive.
I mean, so his ability is XX tap. Copy target activated or triggered ability you control X times. You may choose new targets for the copies. This ability can't be copied and X can't be 0. I don't know if any of you are following the set, but there's a creature called Vivi that came out that has an activated ability that costs 0 mana.
Yeah. Which creates mana.
Which creates mana. Now, I think you can only spend the mana. It has to be red or blue mana. You can only spend it to cast instants and sorceries, I believe. Correct?
No.
No, you can just use it. Yeah.
You could just use it.
Yeah. So you could create.
Now, the creature he's talking about does say it's only available once per turn.
Well, no. This one says you can only activate this once per turn. The ability on this guy says you can't copy
That's
it.
what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Vivi says can only be activated once per turn because it's really good ability.
Correct.
He says That's all right. I got this.
Yeah, and then he proceeds to copy it 6
I gotta
times.
put that in my my blue-green deck where I just keep casting spells.
Yep.
Yeah,
over and
so
over again.
there's already so many different things that this guy, and again, he's only 2 in a blue, so he's quick to get out. He's got a decent butt. He's got a 4, so it's not like it's
Yep.
really easy to kill him.
Yep.
You're gonna have to probably do more of an exile instead
But
of
there
direct
are
damage.
so many ways to
There-
use him and break him and
Yeah, again,
break something else
any
with him.
activated or trigger ability you control. Any.
How much is he going for now?
I didn't even look at the prices. Don't even care. I
Yeah.
just know he's gonna be gross. He is one of I think my buddy said he's one of the characters that you can get as one of your companions and play as. And he does have a special art version of him as well as a regular version. And, so there's, I think, 2 or 3 different versions of him in that
Yeah.
card type. So,
Yeah.
again, a lot of different versions. But, yeah, his ability is super cool. I thought, it's going to be silly how many people are just going to abuse the snot out of it. But fairly cool ability that we haven't really seen.
Yep, very true. Now, so just a couple things. I'm not going to go through the cards, but just another couple of unique things. So you and I like the red. When we're playing red, we like the cards where we discard a card and draw 2.
Yeah.
That type of thing. Well, they made one in this where it has flashback.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's
good.
really good because you get to do it twice.
Yeah, that's
They
really
also
sick.
made a hideaway land that doesn't come in tapped.
Which is a first.
Yep.
Hideaways, that was the big thing,
And
was
what-
they
how do you
always had to be
activate it?
tapped.
If you control 4 or more legendary creatures.
That's not too bad.
That's not hard to do in most, and
it's
a lot
not
of
super
decks. I'm not
easy.
gonna
That's
say-
a lot harder than the others.
I mean, it
but
depends on your deck. If you're playing legendary tribal.
Yeah, which
it's
I have
still
one.
harder than some of the others.
Yeah. But so for my next one that I will talk about Louisoix Sacrifice. Single blue mana. So already, and it's an instant.
You said that pretty good too. I
Yeah.
think you nailed that pronunciation.
I actually looked it up to make sure.
well, good
I said
on
it
you.
right. Yeah.
Because I was like, how do you say that?
Yep. I was gonna say Louisoix, but it's Louisoix Sacrifice. Blue mana, instant. As an additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice a legendary creature or pay 2. But it is another counter target activated ability, triggered ability, or non-creature spell. So you can get 3 things out of this, not at the
For
same
one
time.
blue, that's not bad.
Right. Well, but you also have to pay 2 or sacrifice a legendary. You probably got to pay the 2.
Yeah.
But with as Sloan pointed out, blue does have ways to reduce that cost.
Yeah.
So,
So it could still be just 1 blue.
Yep. So that's just good. I want more. I've been saying I want more counter target
Yeah, I
triggered
know.
ability or activated ability stuff. Here we go. I got one. Thank you for listening, Wizards of the Coast.
Wizard actually told me the trade-off is you have to stop crying about Jink and Taxius being a game changer, though.
I mean, I stopped that a long time ago.
Okay, just
We all know,
but it needs to-
know it's a travesty, and we'll just
No,
moving on.
no,
with
you're not
our
allowed to say that
lives.
anymore. You have to say that the Commanders Council is a group of wise
We're
decision
running out
makers.
of time. Jeff, what do you got for your next card?
I just want to talk about how Teferi's protection shouldn't be on the.
Oh, jeez Louise.
I'm kidding. All right, so this is another saga. I got kind of excited about the sagas when I looked at these things because a lot of times the decks that we kind of love but maybe don't work, and we're like, oh man, if you could just give me something to make this deck work. So this is
Hashtag no feeling.
Summon Knights of Round. And on top of that, I like it because if I were going to be a knight, I'd probably be a Knight of Round.
Yes, you will.
It has something to do with the candied bacon, I'm sure. But it's 6 white, and it's an indestructible, which is quite nice. 3/3. So we talked about a blocker and a saga deck. That's real nice.
Right.
Although 8 mana is a ton. The first 4 chapters in this create 3/2/2 white knight creature tokens. So that's quite nice.
Yeah, I mean that's might be why it's 8 because you're getting 4 creatures for 8 mana.
Yeah, but only create 3 2/2s per turn.
Right.
Yeah.
So the
3,
first
6,
turn he
9,
comes out.
12 of these things.
Right, but
Yeah.
the first turn it comes out, you're getting 4 creatures because it itself
It
is a
is a
creature.
creature, yeah.
And then 3 more, and then every turn you
And
get
then
3
it has
more.
ultimate end. I think I should say those things like that.
Nailed it.
Other creatures you control get +2/+2 until end of turn. Put an indestructible counter on each one of them. That's wild.
Right.
So this is like that saga where if Tom Bombadil brings it out for free, you're like, okay, I'll take that.
Yeah.
And I have another.
Yeah, it's they did a really good job with the flavor stuff because again the summon, like Duncan said, that's what this is. It's another summon ability from the games, and so
What's a Knight of Round though? Is that something?
Knights of Round.
Knights of Round.
That's organization in the game.
Is it? Okay.
So, pretty cool.
Where are they though?
What do you mean?
They're just around.
Should have known.
You guys, I set that up so easy for you. You didn't get it. So sad.
My next one is going to be Sephiroth, Fabled Soldier. So this is a 2 and a black legendary creature, human avatar soldier. He's a 3/3. Whenever he enters or attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, draw a card. So far, so good. Whenever another creature dies, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. If this is the 4th time this ability has resolved this turn, transform Sephiroth. So this is the guy I was talking about that gives us our emblem. He has, on the other side, he's a 5/5 flying angel nightmare avatar, and he has Supernova. As this creature transforms into Sephiroth, 1-wing angel, you get an emblem with, whenever a creature dies, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life.
That's nuts.
And then next ability, whenever Sephiroth attacks, you may sacrifice any number of other creatures. If you do, draw that many cards.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So what was his mana cost on his first side again?
2 and a black.
2 and a black. This is going in my Rada Drabak deck.
Yeah.
I mean, this should go in any sacrifice.
This is an
aristocrat.
This is an aristocrat godsend. This
you
is
said aristocrat.
No, aristocrat.
No, I think you nailed it. This
Yeah,
is
I think that's a new term.
This is
Aristocrat.
aristocrat right here.
Yeah. I mean, you get an emblem that lets you do it. Then on his other side, when he attacks, you can just sacrifice everything. Just don't care. You are all now just fodder to me.
Yes.
And just murder everything. Then draw that many cards.
It's a very powerful card.
Which he was a bad guy, so that's perfect.
Oh yeah, well his ability Supernova is what literally destroys like the entire. It blows up an entire. According to my friend Taylor, he said that ability Supernova makes sense because he blows up an entire galaxy.
Yeah.
With the ability in the game. So he's just literally sacrificing the entire galaxy
guys,
worth
hold
of people.
On, full stop. That's not okay. Millions of lives lost.
Yes. It's okay in Star Wars, but other than that.
Whole galaxy. I mean, those were planets. That was bad in itself. Whole galaxies. That's
Yeah, he blew up an entire galaxy with
full
the ability
stop. That's
Supernova.
not okay. We don't endorse that.
So I've realized that the last card I talked about was a rare. I said I was gonna do that were the ones I had chosen. So I had like 6 cards, but I only wanted to pick 3 to talk about. So I ended up only doing 1 uncommon because then I did rare, and then this one's a rare. So
Yeah.
this one is the Mazamune. So this was the sword in, I believe it was, which version was this? 3? I can't remember, but in one of the games. So it's a artifact equipment, cost 3, as most swords do. Equip cost is 2, as most swords are.
Yep.
And the first ability, it's okay. In the right type of deck, it's great. But the second ability is what I really, really like. The first one is, as long as equipped creature is attacking, it has first strike and must be blocked if able. Then it has, equipped creature has, if a creature dying causes a triggered ability of this creature or an emblem you own
Yeah.
to trigger, that
Yep.
ability triggers an additional time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that emblem you got from Sephiroth?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that whoever designed this set for Wizards of the Coast, they just gave them no boundaries because there is just so many ridiculous combos they created in this within itself.
But it's not, I mean, it's not any, that one is not that outside, except the fact that it's an emblem.
Yeah, it allows you to target an emblem, which nothing has ever done before.
It's good synergy.
But this
It's
one too
powerful
will go in
synergy.
Rada Drabak because I put this on Rada Drabak, and now I get 2 tokens when my legendary creatures die instead of 1.
Right. The big thing is, though, again, this is another. We've never had anything that actually interacts with emblems in regards to specifically like targeting it.
Yeah, like doubling their trigger.
Right. Yeah. Like this again. We've never had that happen, and they did it in this set with a guy that you can attach this sword to and just
With a guy.
murder everybody.
So actually,
just
now I see the
mercilessly.
picture on the full art, and it is Sephiroth. So I think maybe this is another thing that's in all the games. Because I remember it from the early games, but it must be in 7 as well.
Yeah.
So, but just kind of cool on that one.
For sure.
All right, I got a possible commander here. I think this would be best as a commander. Emmett Selleck, Unsundered.
Oh yeah, Tom Selleck's son.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So this one says, whenever Emmett Selleck enters or attack, well, I should say it's 1, a blue, and a black. which is not much. Legendary creature, Elder Wizard. Vigilance. Whenever Emmett Select enters or attacks, draw a card, then discard a card. All right, so okay on that. At the beginning of your upkeep, if there are 14 or more cards in your graveyard, you may transform this person. Now, this is where it gets wild. On the backside, it is Hades, Sorcerer of Eld, Legendary Creature Avatar, Vigilance, Echo of the Lost. Echo of the Lost. Echo. During your turn, you may play cards from your graveyard.
Yeah.
If a card or token would be put into your graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. But you probably already have like 20 cards in there.
Well, you have at least 14 because that's how many you need to transform.
You hopefully have more.
Yeah.
And so that's nuts. That's just a very powerful commander.
Yeah.
And it says exactly what it does right there. You don't have to be, wait, well, how do I build this deck? That's exactly how you build the deck. Put things in your graveyard, then play them out of your graveyard. Done.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's going to be really good for, all those fetch lands you have to sacrifice, and you can get them all back. You get to refetch again. Like, there's a lot of silly combos you can do with that. And he's in blue-black.
Blue-black, yeah.
Notoriously good for putting things in the graveyard and getting it out.
Notoriously good, yep. Milling yourself. Yep.
Yeah, so should be fun.
Getting specific cards to go in your graveyard also.
Yeah. So the next one I got is Dion, Bahamut's Dominant. He's
Which, by the way, sounds very kinky.
What is it called again?
Bahamut's Dominant.
Yep.
Maybe he is.
White Legendary Human Noble Knight. He's 3 and a white. Dragonfire Dive. During your turn, Dion and other knights you control have flying. So pretty sick. You can have a bunch of flying knights. When he enters, create a 2/2 white knight creature token. Then you can pay 4 white. Tap them. Exile Dion, then return it to the battlefield, transformed under its owner's control, activate only as a sorcery. His other side is a Saga Dragon.
Let's go.
1 and 2 are Wings of Light. Put a 1/1 counter on each
what's
other.
It called?
Bahamut, Warden of Light.
Okay, there you go.
So 1 and 2 are Wings of Light. Put a 1/1 counter on each other creature you control. Those creatures gain flying until end of turn. And then his 3 is Giga Flare.
Giga Flare.
Thank you, Jeff. Destroy target permanent. Exile Bahamut, then return it to the battlefield. And he's a 5/5 flyer when he's on the Saga side. So basically, as long as you have the mana, and you can do this as a sorcery, pretty much every couple of turns you just get to destroy a permanent.
And redo it.
And then
Flip
start
it back
all over.
and start
all over. Right.
Wild.
I mean, so this is the card I was referring to when I said this is the first time we're going to have a Saga you can have a Saga in Command Zone because he is a legendary creature on the other side. So, this is someone you could, if you wanted to build a mono white knight deck, I think this is probably one of the better guys to do it with, especially since you have that other guy that gives all of your other creatures indestructible and counters, and he, I think, was also white, so he would go in here too. The Summon Knights of Round, I think it was.
Yeah.
So, I mean, pretty cool ability. I thought, not nearly as flashy as some of the other ones we're seeing, like the VVs and the Go-Go and the one Cloud.
These sound like so ridiculous.
I know. These
The
names are
VVs
absurd.
and the Go-Go's,
Yeah. That sounds like a burlesque show in Las Vegas.
You guys have more, right?
I do.
Okay, so
I do
hold
want
on.
to say something real quick, though.
Okay.
Which is this set might be the set with the most words out of any set ever made. And I wonder if that's true because every single one of these cards has so many friggin' words.
Yeah. Yeah, well, maybe. I'll do one more, and then we'll see what you guys got. So the last one I'm going to do is World Map. This one I just think is great utility. This one's actually even a common. But it costs 1 mana of any color. You can pay 1, tap it, sack it, search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. It's okay.
Yeah.
But it also has the ability, 3, tap it, sack it, search your library for any land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle.
Which is always good.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. You can go get your Gaia's Cradle. You can go get your...
How much was the cost to get it out before you did that?
1.
So you're paying 4 total?
Yeah.
Go get any land in any color?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Now, it only puts it in your hand, so you have to save your land drop to play it, but just save your land drop to play it.
Well, that's a good transition into this next one here, which I got, which is called I don't know how to say this. Zeldinched. Dink. Zell Dink.
Dinked.
Dinked. Maybe he has some cool things he says on here. I don't know. So he's 2 and a red. A legendary creature, human monk. You may play an additional land on each of your turns.
Red has ramp.
Now, you might go like,
Let's
oh,
go.
that's not that great, but it's great in red.
It's not mono red, is it?
Yeah,
Mono
it is.
red.
Oh, I saw like
You
gold
may
on
play
there,
an
so-
additional land on each of your turns. That's so good. And then
Wow.
Zell
Yeah,
Dink
no, red
gets
has ramp.
+1/+0
Screw you,
for each
Green.
land you control.
Yeah.
And then he's still not done because this set has the most words out of any set ever, I suspect. At the beginning of your end step, return a land you control to its owner's hand. So that is a negative. But
Well, no, because
You're
the
putting
idea
out two.
you can
is
bounce.
so, but you can do your own to play another land and get another land drop trigger if you have land drop triggers.
You could, yes. At the
That- I
beginning
think
of your
that's what
end
they
step,
mean you to
return a
do.
land you control to its owner's hand.
Yeah. Yeah. How much do they cost?
2 and a red.
2 and a red.
That's going in every red deck. I mean, that's
I think
red
it
land
does.
ramp.
I think it does.
It's really good. I mean, it's again something that we kind of talked about with the void of Dockside is there's not really a good catch-up mechanic because the problem with Dockside is, of course, he was really easily broken, but he got you the ramp to catch up sometimes because red always lacked that. So
And I don't know who Dinked is, and I'm sure I'm saying it wrong. I apologize, but just want to let you guys know if you're diehard Final Fantasy
There you
people, I get it. I get that I should say it right. I'm very sorry. I'll fall on my sword from the night of the round because I can find them.
You can
They're
call
around.
them at 941. No, I'm just kidding.
But Dinked sounds like a cool dude. He looks like a cool dude. I think he's a cool guy. This guy is cool.
the last cards I want to bring up, I'm going to do them as a group because they are a group. They're legendary
cycle.
artifacts called the blank crystals. So there's 5 different ones, one for each color. It's a cycle.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the darkness crystal, the water crystal. I can't remember what all the
They
other
couldn't-
ones are.
I
by
am
the way, when the
aware.
game came out, they couldn't do the dark
Darkness,
crystal
wind,
because that was already a movie.
fire, and you said water, right?
Yeah, I said water already. So, but their abilities are pretty cool. They all are very reminiscent of the color that they're in. So black spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. This is for the darkness crystal, which
They
is
all
2
say
black
that,
black.
by the way.
Yeah, they all make the color that they are cost
Cost
less.
1 less. And then if a non-token creature an opponent controls dies, instead exile it and you gain 2 life. And then 4 black black, tap it, target creature card exiled with the darkness crystal. Sorry. Put target creature card exiled with the darkness crystal onto the battlefield, tapped under your control with 2 additional 1/1 counters on it. So again, they all kind of do stuff reminiscent of that. Blue has stuff to do with mill, and I think
The white one lets you gain twice the life you gained, plus you can pay to have your creatures gain flying and lifelink.
yeah, the red one is creatures you control have haste, tap it, pay it, copy target creature you control, sacrifice at the beginning ends. So they all do a good job
So
of
what
being.
about the one that Jeff's got to play, the green one?
The green one? The green one's actually, I think it's actually pretty good.
Well,
If 1 or more 1/1 counters will be put on a creature you control, twice that many 1/1 counters are put on that creature instead. 4 green tap, distribute 2 1/1 counters among 1 or 2 target creatures you control. So basically 4.
Yeah, he doesn't really
Twice.
do much with 1/1 counters. He's not
okay.
going to use it.
I mean, I do want to build an Atraxa 1/1 counter deck because
You just want to build all the
I
attractions.
want to build all the Atraxas. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but
I don't know what your attraction is.
I don't know. She's just one of the first cards I got, and she's cool. She looks really cool. And I have multiple versions of her now, so I might as well make decks.
But yeah, so the crystal cycle I think is going to be really good. I think a lot of people are definitely all of those cards could easily find a home. And the cool thing is too, they are legendary artifacts, which we usually don't get a lot of legendary artifacts that stand out like this. And now we got 5 of them.
Except for the One Ring.
Right. Again.
Yeah, except for that one.
Except for that one.
Well, again, what I mean is we have 5 now that came out in one set, and there's one for each color. The One Ring just goes in everything, but these are color specific, so they're meant to really be
Right, and like for me,
designed
I don't
around that.
really play mill. I have 1 mill deck, and I
Right.
don't play it that much. But, but you know, if that could go.
I
in
have a
there,
mill
that would
deck
be good in
too.
there.
Yeah.
I've not played it much either. So.
You said it wasn't a mill deck. You said it was a pirate
No, I
deck.
have a mill deck. That's a rogue deck. I also have a mill deck.
You have
Oh.
2 mill decks. Nice.
I have a rogue deck and a mill deck.
A mill deck and a mill deck. I heard you. So,
Loud and clear.
did you have another one, Jeff?
I have a bunch of them, but
Well,
do we want to move on to discuss something different at
Well,
this point?
just do one more and then we'll.
All right, this one's funny because I have no idea how to say this one. You guys
Oh,
can let
this
us
is
know
why
how
I want you
badly.
to do
This
it.
is a tough one. Nibelheim. I'm going to say Nibelheim. A flame. 2 red.
I think it's just Nibelheim, but you do you.
2 red. Choose target creature you control. It deals damage equal to its power to each other creature.
Oh, you mean like the Cactuar?
If
The giant Cactuar?
If this spell was cast, that would be nuts. If this spell was cast from a graveyard, discard your hand, draw 4 cards. And then it has flashback 5 and 2 red.
It was, and that's a instant.
Sorcery.
Oh, so you can't do it. But if you could do it at instant speed, if you have flash, then you do it with the Cactuar, because the Cactuar only has that while it's attacking.
Yeah, but
I
flashback.
think I think it has that at the beginning of combat.
Is that what it says?
I think so.
Okay. Well, either way, there are
Just
ways
second
to
main
break it.
phase.
There are ways to break it.
Yeah. There's
So-
no way to be able to cast sorcery
But
cards
also,
at
you
instant
probably,
speed.
if you're trying to kill all the creatures, you don't need a 10,000 power or whatever.
No, but it would be fun. You don't need 10,000 power
Especially
to
if
kill
you
a
have something that
commander
gains
either.
life from doing damage, or something else that triggers off of doing damage, because that'd be nuts. I'm sure there's something you can combine this with.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
yeah.
red black chick.
No, the one I play.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
gross.
Except that it doesn't have green in it, so you can't really put the giant Cactuar.
But
in
you
there.
could put other powerful stuff, and this would still work.
Yeah. I mean, I already have the Starfall one, the one that does 20 damage to every creature.
Yeah.
And of course, Blasphemous Act 13 damage.
But this you can cast twice, and it only costs 4 mana the first time.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's a good one. So yeah, there's a lot of cards. I think we probably will do another Final Fantasy episode next week. Talk about more of the, because there's new mechanics. There's got to be new mechanics. There's always new mechanics.
I mean, I thought previously when we talked about new mechanics, how they kind of laughed at you when you're like, they did really good. They weren't doing them. And then they did like 9 or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they were like, yeah, wait till our next one, Duncan.
Yeah.
And I don't know why
'Cause-
they keep doing this. Some of the mechanics seem similar to other mechanics.
Oh, they're totally similar. Like
Seems
they've done
they
so many
coulda
different
just-
versions
Why
of
do
Manifest.
they keep naming them different things? Stop doing that.
Because they can't think of new ideas.
No, they are literally thinking of new ideas when they don't have to. It's like, we have a wheel. Don't try to make a new one.
No, they're just like, I can't think of a new ability. We got to have the new abilities. Boss says we need new abilities.
No.
Well, how about just another Manifest?
Yeah. Well, that's fine. Yeah.
No,
I
it's
don't
not. Just stop.
It's fine to have another manifest. Just call it manifest.
So the
Then we
other
don't have a
thing
problem.
that I was going to talk about just kind of real quick about Final Fantasy, another thing they're doing for the first time, they have made it now so that artifacts and enchantments die when they go to the
Right.
Oh,
graveyard.
yeah. You
So
sent this article to
Sloan
us.
was not all that impressed by it.
No, because as of right now, it doesn't really change much. However, yes, it opens up the door. Yeah, it opens up the door for things to be changed a lot. I mean, they're just trying to shorthand stuff so they can do Duncan's favorite thing and Jeff's favorite thing, which is to put more words on the card.
Yeah.
So the less
They
words.
need more words
yeah.
for other abilities.
Yeah, exactly. They
So they
need
got
new
shortened-
ability. Yeah, so they got
instead
to
of
shorten.
saying when it goes to the graveyard, they say when it dies.
Yeah.
But this is the right decision for them to be tweaking these things to make it easier, because now everybody already used the word die, but it wasn't actually the correct term.
Right.
So now they're just making it easier, which is the right thing to do with the game.
Yep.
Yeah, and luckily for the most part, there aren't a lot of existing mechanics that this is going to really do anything with.
So there's a card in the set that will refer to this.
Right.
And then there's one other card that they have made that actually says when permanents die, even though at that time there was only creatures that die, and it put bounty counters on creatures, so unless you move the counter, it wasn't going to matter.
Right. It was creatures and planewalkers, which is why it said permanent specifically,
Right.
because the ability said.
Cards already that have gone up in price that we're unaware of, they have some weird interaction. I mean, that's just they're
Yeah, the
really
one for
smart
Vivi.
people.
There's a card for Vivi that it was a sub $1 card, and then the moment they showed Vivi, it was as of last week $17.
Yep.
Yep.
And that's how it happens.
That's Quicksilver Elemental.
And the
Yep.
prospectors out there know. They like, as soon as they see it, boom, they
Yep.
they buy it up.
So there
or
are
raise the
guys
prices.
out there that just know the cards, like every card.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like I know a lot of cards, but there's guys that are like, they know every card. And the moment
Yeah.
something, that goes perfectly with that one
Could you-
from 5th edition
Could
they
you
put out.
imagine if they like took that power and applied it to like the stock market,
Use your
they would
powers
actually make money.
Yeah. I was going to
Instead
say
of
good,
nickel
but the
and
stock
dimes.
market isn't good.
Like my grandfather used to always say, the business that we own now was a nickel making factory. You just turn a crank and it makes nickels. And I'm like, well, can we turn the crank and make like quarters or something? Like just step it up a little bit. But I feel like the Magic the Gathering market compared to stock market is like nickels compared to like dollars.
Right.
But you know.
So.
It's a lot more to the stock market than there is to the value of Magic the Gathering cards.
Certainly more risk.
The game of Magic is more complicated than the game of the stock market.
Oh, I don't know about that.
But anyway, so that's what we got for this week as far as Final Fantasy, and actually we've come to the end of our show. We will do more Final Fantasy next week. We'll talk about more cards, more stuff, and we're hoping to get a game pseudo expert,
Yes.
self-proclaimed expert.
We're gonna see if my buddy
Fanatic
can join
is
us.
probably a better
Yeah,
term.
he actually has cosplayed as Cloud. He built a Buster Sword and it's hanging up at his house. So he is very much a knowledgeable figure when it comes to the Final Fantasy series.
Yep. So look forward to that. And if you want to contact us in the meantime, you can email us cast@commanderspod.com. You can always find us on youtube.com/@commanderspod. If you'd like to support us, we would love to have you join our Patreon supporters, patreon.com/commanderspod. Don't forget to check out our website, commanderspod.com.
And hit the like button.
That's not where it is. What are you doing? That's not where it is. Wow. Okay.
I don't know where it is.
I think he's having a stroke.
Somewhere.
But anyway, and finally, just remember, play bold, swing wide, and don't forget to pay the one.
Commander Pod, where the stories unfold, with heroes and villains, new and old. Talking Jeff and Flo, guide the way in the world of games we play. Tune in, friends, will fly and go. The Commander Pod, the love will show. From our decks to yours, we set a spark in the world of magic. We'll leave our mark.